Morning, family. Welcome back to the YouTube. It is Tuesday, the 10th of December, and we are going to be going over the daily outlook today. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone had an amazing Monday, and we'll get straight into the charts. So, obviously, yesterday we mentioned about quite a few stuff. We mentioned about the dollar, especially being in two zones. I also talked a lot about the fact that the dollar was reacting out in the supply zone, but for me, it was not what I would have considered, a place for me to start looking for sells on the dollar, which means buys on the currency pairs like GU, EU, so on and so on. And as you guys can see, it was more of an inducement because if we get rid of this now, we had pretty much not equal highs, but we had the highs left with imbalance above to this supply zone, which for me was something which most people make the mistake of inducement, getting in early, getting the sellers in early, and then obviously the market coming down, reacting, which it did with a big juicy institutional candle. But then the true move from this demand area that we mentioned did happen, and now we're currently in this supply zone as well. So I didn't take any trades at all yesterday. I wasn't willing to. I was just trying to see what the market's going to do for a Monday and set us up for the week. So let's just delete a few of this stuff and you'll be able to see the fact that that was the supply zone that we mentioned. But we also did talk about the fact that we're in this 4-hour demand area. We had this big juicy candle here, which was an institutional candle, which brought the 1-hour structure here. And then obviously we had this 1-hour demand area, which I mentioned, which worked out absolutely to a T. So again, we're kind of like trapped inside of the markets right now. We've had another break of structure from the 1 hour here, and we are now currently, from a 1 hour perspective, in this bullish range right now. We're in this bullish range. So remember, I always say, even if we're in the 4 hour, let's get rid of this. Even if we're in the 4 hour, understand that the 1 hour before the 4 hour actually has that bias of going, continuing to, go down, which as you can see, this supply zone, this high here and this low. Understand that before it actually does, happen to go down, we have to follow the 1 hour structure first. We have to make sure that we are following the 1 hour structure before the 4 hour, because you have to understand that the 1 hour does confirm the 4 hour structure. So quickly, let's go to the daily. And then let's just have a look at the markets. Let me just get rid of this. Yeah, so, we've got quite a lot of bullish momentum coming in. Make sure that you're aware of that. This candle here, tells me a lot that we come into this daily demand, a lot of volume push back up, and that's why we've had this daily candle here. So potentially what could, we see is this supply zone potentially not holding. And we could potentially see the markets, just shoot up from here. That is one option, to carry on, of course. Or the other option is this supply zone does hold, and this supply zone is strong enough to hold, and we see some sort of reaction from there. And as we always say, we want to see that strong reaction, to come up, potentially have that sideways movement, have a liquidity sweep, and then have that institutional move down, break the structure on the 15-minute, to then take the trade as well. If you are a bit more, you don't want to wait for one break structure, you can wait for 2 break structures, and then that will definitely confirm that for me the market is on its way down if that does happen. And what I mean by that is liquidity. So money, amazing drawing. Look at that. Let me do that again. Money. Then we're going to have 1 breaker structure, 2 breaker structures. If you get 1 breaker structure, 2 breaker structures, then that will 100% confirm that we need to be looking for the sells in this area. So again, looking good. It's looking like we've got some good potential setups. Even if that does happen, also understand that our next roadblock would be this 4-hour demand area, sorry, which will be this big 4-hour demand area. This, or you can bring it down to, here. This would be our next roadblock, and it's probably something on the 1 hour that's a bit more cleaner. But understand that if you're selling the dollar from here, this will be the next area that we need to wait to see if we get a reaction from. If we get the reaction, as always, I am half asleep, as you guys can tell this morning. If we get the reaction from here and you see this, yeah, we need to be obviously taking in fact that the dollar is still in that strong uptrend. So keeping an eye out on them areas at the moment for the dollar. Patience is key. Never going to get in the trade unless we get the right confirmations. As I mentioned yesterday, the markets are going to be, sorry, let me change that to demand, are going to be a lot slower, over Christmas during, this time currently right now, just because of the simple fact of, understanding that the markets are a lot slower near Christmas. We also do have, I just noticed this 1 hour demand area here. This could be an area that you can keep an eye on. If you want to do it from here, I would look for more so this as a 1 hour demand area. And that will be our first roadblock. This will tell me if the dollar's coming down today or it's going to stay up. So what I would be waiting for is either two things from here. So can we see this? And if we do, our first roadblock would be this. Then I'll be waiting to see how it reacts from here. This could be the first time where we do get the movement up. If we do, it's going to continue. But that'll be our first roadblock. So let me just mark that out for myself. I'm going to see if we do get the 1 hour high or low. Or 15 minutes, should we say? It's more of a 15-minute, but let's just put 1 hour, if that's 15-minute. And then obviously this here. So pay attention to that. Nice institutional candle. We've got imbalance left, and it's also broke structure as well. So make sure that you're keeping an eye on this first area because we could see that reaction out of there to continue up. If we do break below this, keep an eye on the next zone. The next zone for me would actually probably just refine it to this last big candle here. Either this small one or this candle here. So again, if the market does react from this supply, this is our first number one roadblock, and this is our second roadblock to keep an eye on as well. So yeah, that's what we've got so far today for the dollar, which leads us now on to the other pairs. GU currently, obviously not had as much movement as we would have liked from yesterday, but as you guys can see, the zones that we had are played out perfectly. From a 4 hour perspective, we have our zone here from our higher low to our higher high. We have the break structure here. And as we talked about yesterday, naturally I wanted to see this come into at least this area, which we didn't get. But our supply was also something that we needed to keep an eye on. Why? Well, as we talked about, once we was mentioning about the uptrend that we was in from the 4 hour, if you can see that we had all these, higher lows, higher highs that we was creating yesterday, and then we had this here, which was a break structure because this low broke here. So we had that 1 hour break or shift in momentum, shift in trend, change of trend, whatever it is that you want to call it, which confirmed that the GU could be, for me, potentially on its way down. Then we had this 1 hour supply area, which, as you guys can see, we reacted perfectly from. So with that being said, we come into the deepest part of this 1 hour supply area. And we also had the last 1 hour change again. So we had you have to understand we was in an uptrend. We had that 1 hour break, and then we started to create this little trend, internal trend. We've now had a break. So two options. Even now, we react from this 1 hour demand area to go back up, which would mean that we would need the dollar to react from here and go down. So that is, number one, we have to keep an eye on that. That's a 4 hour demand area that we're in. Number two is because we're following this structure and we've had a break, if we do get the reaction from there, could we see a potential move back up into this 1 hour supply, pardon me, to then have that move. So let's say we get a move from here, and then we have to wait to see what happens in this area, because this 1 hour, is this in control supply or is the demand in control? So that's something that we need to really keep an eye on. And when we do, we want to look for the same pattern as always, a break to carry that move down. So GU is looking good as well this Tuesday. Let's keep an eye on it. No reason to just absolutely go crazy and try and get in every single trade that we can. Even if you don't take a trade, like, I'm happy not to. Another thing to keep an eye on though, let's say we carry on down. Let's say we carry on down and we come into this lower part of the demand area. And then let's say we are obviously, accumulating here. I would also be patient with that, but also understand that we will now have a new 1 hour supply area from here, or you can mark out 2 candles. We'll have another 1 hour supply area from here if we do manage to break this low. And that will be something that I would recommend you guys also then keeping an eye on. Remember, all we're there to do is flow with the markets, go with whatever the markets is showing us, follow the market structure, follow the trend, and make decisions, smart decisions from that. If I just quickly get the tool up from the Asian, you'll be able to see that we've took the Asian low here. We took this Asian low. So, let's see if we can get that break below this Asian high we've took. If we can get below this Asian low, I would probably see that continuation happen if we don't get a reaction from this 1 hour, 4 hour demand area. So that is that for GU. We now lead on to Euro USD, and it's very much the same. Very much the same. 4 hour is in control. In regards to structure, we have a 4 hour higher low and a 4 hour higher high. We reacted perfectly from this demand area, which I said yesterday, and we had that movement up back into this supply area. The reason that we are now kind of trapped is because this demand area and it was in control, but we did have that 1 hour shift from here where we had the uptrend, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, because we had that 1 hour shift. And then we come back up into the supply. So again, two things. If we break, and this can also help you out with the GU, because if we break below this, I'll be looking at shorting personally. If we don't and we get a reaction from here, which we also could potentially, we also could get the reaction from here as well. If we do see that, and we see a big break, then we will be continuing up. But remember, everything revolves around what the dollar does. So, make sure that you guys are patient with whatever it is that you're looking at. As we can see currently, that is what we can see on the 1 hour. Supply is currently in control, whilst demand is still in control. Sorry, but supply is having that roadblock. At the moment, we did have the 1 hour shift. So I'm sitting on my hands, I'm chilling, I'm relaxing. I'm either going to wait for a break here, or I'm going to wait for this break here. So again, this break or this break. So just to clarify one more time, I'm either going to wait for the markets to continue down, which will allow me to continue selling, or I'm going to let the markets react. Let's see what happens. Break above here to confirm to me that we are, potentially going up. And then I'm going to be looking at longing this into the moon. So that is the two options that we do have for EU. Moving on now to NU. Let's see what we've got. From a 4 hour perspective, we are currently, well, we did currently react out of this 4 hour supply perfectly. One thing that I don't really like, but we're nowhere near even worrying about it right now, is just these equal highs here. But like I said, we're nowhere near that right now, so it doesn't really, make a big difference. I was seeing if we could get a reaction yesterday from this area here, but we kind of took that out and used it as liquidity, which I did also say on the call. So, that for me, nothing reacted out. I didn't take no trades. I wasn't really happy with that. It's kind of just used it as a liquidity. Now we're currently in this this demand area right now. So we're in this 4 hour demand area. So again, same thing. What is in control? What do you want to do? What should you do? Potentially, well, not potentially, sorry. We are in the higher high. So we do have the higher high here, and we do have the 4 hour higher lower low. We do have that change of trend that happened here from the downtrend to the uptrend. Even though a lot of people, will potentially say it's not confirmed by the candle. I get that, but also I'm just looking at that, and that's the way that I trade. And if we change trend back down, I'm happy to say that was more of a liquidity sweep. But for now, this is what I can see. We are still downtrending via the 1 hour and also the 4 hour, to be fair. So what I will be looking for is probably seeing the markets potentially react from this zone, and also seeing if we can get back up into these areas. If I'll be real though, like this is why with NU I'm going to be patient as well, just because I just can't see us coming back up here without taking these highs. If we do take these highs, if we do come back up, I can see us taking these highs. So again, that's from a 4 hour perspective. What we do have quite a lot of imbalance. Let me just drop down to the 1. Yeah, so it will be interesting to see what NU does. But I'm liking the look more so right now of EU and GU. So again, let's see what happens. To confirm that this will go up, I will have to see a reaction from somewhere, wherever it is. It's almost in that 1 hour demand area. I would have to see a reaction break above this high. That would fully confirm that we are now on our way back up. If we can break above this high here, this lower high. If we can do that, yes, market's going to go up. If we don't, then the market could potentially still also use this as the next 1 hour supply area and move away from and carry on the trend down. So again, that could be the next thing is if NU does not really react and we have this, then that will confirm with another break that it's probably most likely going to be selling off and continuing that downtrend. So yeah, that is what I've got for NU. Going over to GJ. GJ has been on a mad one. We did say yesterday that we was trapped kind of in the markets, and we said we will sit on our hands, but we had a beautiful, beautiful reaction from the demand area that I give. Naturally, yesterday, we was obviously saying, look, this is a supply zone, and obviously we reacted once here. This is one thing I want you guys to keep in mind. With supply and demand, with structure, I do not like the fact that this come up once, twice. I'll be real with you. And when I got off the call yesterday, I was looking at it again and I did it over again. I was like, if it's reacted once, it should naturally now break this low. It should have gone up, and I would have liked to see it break this low here and then continue that downtrend. Because we didn't get that, and it come up with quite, big candles as well. It was more so telling me that we need to actually keep an eye on the fact that this is now probably more so bullish. And that's where I did mention yesterday that we was in the 1 hour demand area from here. And as you can see, we had a lot of momentum. We had the lows build up, inducement, and then we had the candles down, and then that mass movement. I'm not going to say I got in, because look at that. Where could I have potentially got in on this big bullish movement? I did not have a chance at all. I sat on my hands, as I've already mentioned yesterday, but we had a lot of movement. I didn't get in GJ. I was more so patient with it. Let's go quickly to the daily. So as you guys can see now, let's remark this up. Let's get rid of these. So we had, let's do this together. I don't want to get rid of everything. We had the lower high, we had the lower low, lower high, lower low. This now was meant to be our lower high. It didn't happen because it didn't break. So now we've come back and we've created this as our higher low and this as our higher high. So we've had a 4 hour change of trend. 4 hour change of trend here for GJ. 4 hour change of trend. So currently right now, my low is, let me get rid of this. My 4 hour higher low is here. Where's it gone? 4 hour higher low is here. And my 4 hour higher high is here. 4 hour higher high is here. So let's go back down to the 4. Okay, so this is my range now from the 4 hour is this low to this high. So with GJ, and what I'm going to be waiting for is first and foremost, naturally what we want to see is I want to see probably this 4 hour. So let me mark out these two candles. Eventually, I want to see this 4 hour demand area met. I want to see us come back down to this area. Probably, hopefully this week. If not, it will be eventually. We will come back down. So in order for that to happen, I've just got to follow with the markets. This momentum that we've got right now, what could potentially happen is if we break above this, this is going to be a new demand area for us to carry on the trend, unless we get a break of this low. If we get a break of this low, then obviously my next position would be keeping an eye out on here to then carry the trend on and look for that shift back up into creating new higher highs. So that is what I've been looking for with GJ. Play what you see. Understand that it's GJ's on a mad one yesterday, come out of nowhere. So please make sure that you guys are wary that yes, now the 4 hour has shifted, but understand that it's not necessarily always going to just have this pullback, today into this area. And if we do break above, making sure that you do keep an eye on this demand area to carry on. But remember, please remember, from the 4 hour perspective, this is only a valid demand area if we do just break above this. If we break above this, this is where you're looking to buy from. If we don't break above this, I wouldn't be looking to buy from unless I can see something on the 1 hour. More of a 1 hour, you probably could, but again, I'd say wait for it to break above for the 4 to see if we can buy off that. But yeah, and also understand as well, which is good, it's tasty. We have equal highs building up here as well. So they should potentially get taken pretty much today. If we do, it will probably react from this zone to go and create them new higher highs and also take that higher high out as well. So GJ, that is what we've got. Let's go to AU. I've not really looked at USD CAD. I've not really looked at USD CHF. USD CHF didn't really give much yesterday, to be truthful. I also did mention that my zone that I've been more waiting for is up here. I've got my alert set. So again, we've got this last supply candle, which mitigated this area. I also had a break structure, institutional move, and imbalance. So for me, we want to see a break above here. If we can get that break above here, I will then potentially be looking at seeing if I can, let's see if we can get a break above, if I can participate in the buys up into this supply zone and then watching for the movement out. If we carry on, amazing. If we get the move that we like and we see a break, we need to get out of this buy position and prioritize looking for the sells on USDC HF. So interesting. We've got some pretty decent setups going into Tuesday. I'm excited to see what happens. Let's have a quick look at the dollar. Dollar is pumping at the moment in that 4 hour supply zone. So yes, I appreciate every single person who's tuned in. I hope you all have an amazing Tuesday. If you need anything at all, don't hesitate in dropping the comment below and asking any questions or reaching out to me via my social media. My Instagram is @CoachByChambers. You can find my 2 links to my Telegram, which is free, and my Instagram channel, which is on the bio on my YouTube here. So guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Have an amazing Tuesday and God bless. Take care.